Hello there, hello everyone. Today we are going to have a look at Epikitours. Epikitours is a company that does virtual tours. And the two types of tours that Epikitours does is live virtual tours with an actual guide taking you to the live actual place, to the physical location, and 360 tours. That is um, a tour that has panorama images that you can actually self-pace look at them. Now, on the first page here, we have a category of tours, and these tours are like cards of the various historic sites, the various monuments and tourist attraction sites that are there within the East African region. We'll What we'll do is we'll randomly look at two of them or three maybe, see what is there to see about that. Then from there we'll look at the guides that are there, and then we'll also look at the 360 tours that I mentioned as a point. So let's start. I will pick on three here. Maybe starting with the first one is the Nairobi National Park. And what each tour offers, or each page offers, is one, either an image or a video of the tourist destination site. Number two, you'll also sometimes see a brief description of what the tour offers. For example, this one is Nairobi National Park, the only park within a city in the world. That will be explained briefly, and most importantly, the key highlights that you will be able to see. And for example, here you'll be able to, if it's a 360 tour or a live virtual tour, depending on how they're scheduled, you'll probably have the chance to see the big five animals, the rhinos. You'll be able to see the giraffes, you'll be able to see lions. And then there's some water points like the Hyena Dam. You have a very interesting activity that took place within the park that is called the Ivory Burning Site Monument. This was a landmark in the fight against poaching, where tons and tons of ivory were burnt. There's a lot of explanation you can get about that. We also have some birds, more than 400 bird species for those who like bird sighting and other items. So this page will just explain. Then you can always join. How then do we join the tour? You can always join the tour by filling in this waiting list, which just requires your name and email address. For example, I'll fill in my name here, Tim, and my email address. There you go. And then click on join waiting list. And this says the email already on the waiting list of this tour. So yeah, but if you're not on the waiting list, then it will confirm this to you, and it will send you an email that actually guides you on what to do. After that, we'll get the email address that you've shared with us and send you a link for the actual tour when it is offered. And normally it takes around a week or two for us to prepare for a tour. So by filling up this waiting list then and click on the joining list, you should be able to see. Then the name of the tour guide is listed here. For example, I am the tour guide for this most times, and the guide is listed here. And check on this and the other tours that the guide offers. Now, if I go back to another tour here, let's see here. Randomly, like the Gedi ruins, for example. The Gedi ruins also has the same structure. In this case, now you have a video, unlike where you just had an image, and it talk about what Gedi ruins here is, and apparently this is one of the UNESCO World Heritage Sites that was named a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2024 because of its mysterious forest that showed signs of civilization in the 12th century. You know, how people used to live, the kind of houses they used to build. The key highlights being the architecture, how they used to live, the trade and archaeology that was involved, and the natural settings behind the Gedi ruins, which is a very interesting place. So just like the Nairobi National Park, here you can fill in your details here. Let's see if I have joined on this one. Yeah, likewise, so I already have my email address within the waiting list. And you can also view the guide. The guide for this one is this lady. She's called Maureen. You can be able to see bit of a profile and the other tours that she does offer. So whenever we get your email address and the details, we'll send you the rest of the details for how to join, and get to see from wherever you are a virtual tour online of these very interesting places. There's more to us if you load on this, and we can have a look at any other, like for example the Ologosaile prehistoric site. The Ologosaile prehistoric site, this has to do with evolution. It's located within the Rift Valley, across somewhere within the Rift Valley, and this one has to do with how evolution took place, the hand axes that were used some time back, millions and million years ago. So this one is a very interesting site where when you fill in your details here within the waiting list, we can always send you a link and you should be able to join a virtual tour of Ologosaile prehistoric sites when we organize to have it offered. So the key highlights of this tour are, you can always have a look at them: Acheulean stone tools, unearthed fossils, and extinct species. You learn about early human survival strategies, how they used to survive, and so forth and so on. So it's one of the most interesting places. Even when you look at the images that are here, the tools that were used, um, Homo erectus, things that we just only maybe read of in textbooks or other sources. Now we're able to see them real life and get a guide to explain what's happening on a virtual perspective. So those are the tours that we can offer with the 360 or live tours where a guide goes online and they can be able to take you through. The next bit now, the next part of the menu is the 360 tours, and I just want to demo what a 360 tour would look like. We only have one now, but we're working on adding the others. This is for Nairobi National Museum. So if I clicked on this, then I should be able to get a 360 view of Nairobi National Museums of Kenya, and I'll just take you through briefly on what to expect. So these tours are very interactive with some icons here that show with some information about the various sections or the various places that are there. So for example, this is the gate here, which is the main entrance, and you only click on the arrows, the guided arrows that are there. You can click on that and it takes you closer. This is the actual entrance of the museum, but around it you're able to see what surrounds it. For example, in this one we do have some sculptures and some items outside. If you click on this is like a dinosaur here. You can just have a look at this one here. When you click on the information, it tells you what kind of dinosaur this one is and why it's there. So ideally it's there just to show that, if we joke around, if people mess around with nature, then the animals or fauna and flora can actually get extinct, like as dinosaurs did. So it's something that can happen, and it's up to us to take care that not to happen. Next to it is another very interesting one. This one shows or symbolizes the ivory burning. The sculpture is a symbolic representation of the ivory fire or the ivory burning, which started by the second president of Kenya in 1989, where he burned some notably large tons from a lot of ivory. So this is a symbol of that, to show that we actually need to avoid anything that can lead to extinction. So more explanation is normally done by when you fill in the wishing list, and you should be able to for free get to an explanation of the 360 tours. Now going forward, you can click on any of these. This is a self-guided tour. You can have a look at the items, click on the information. This one just shows the charges, how much you need to pay. This is actually the reception where you're supposed to pay, and this is a tour you can actually take or do on your own. The only problem will be the explanations, because we couldn't put the audio on this one. And next to it now you have this hall here. You can have a 360 view of it with so many of the items. Like this one here, it's a horn. We do have gourds. Gourds are very crucial in the African setting. They were used for storing milk. They were used for storing water. Some actually used for libation, that is using alcohol that was brewed by the elders then. Then some info about some items that are there. For example, this is called the Siwa ivory horn that was meant for the chiefs back then. So you can get to read about that and move around the museum at your own pace. Some of these markings like these ones are just for the same room but different locations of the room. You should be able to see that. Same to this one. And then this one now is a path that leads to the Great Hall of Marmos, as you can see here. Great Hall of Marmos. You can click on this here, and this one takes you to the Marmos section. Now here also there's a lot of items that are there. There's talking of convergence here, very interesting concept. Convergence and divergence of animals. At what point did they, or which animals converged due to the environments that we were living in? Yeah. So another place where we can stand within the same location is this one that shows other smaller animals, and this talks about the divergence bit of it. So there was divergence of animals where they went different paths. That is well explained within the tour. Again, you can fill in the wishing lists or waiting lists, and there you should be able to um, get in touch with you and organize for a free 360 explanation tour, where you can only probably tip the guide if you want to, but the tours, the 360 tours, are free to join. This will go on and on. You can always take this at your own pace. It will show you the directions of where to go. This is the humanoid or the evolution kind of a hall, whereby you're able to see the various evolution aspects of the human being. It explains a lot, and you're able to see them and read a few that are close to you. But again, an explained tour would be best. And if you feel like you'd want an explained tour, then you can go on and reach out to us or fill in the waiting lists in the tour section that I showed initially. Yeah, so we can go through this over and over, but I think it's a tour that you can actually go through on your own. Take time, open the page. I'll put the links for the website on the description there, and you can be able to do this on your own. But always feel free to reach out to us through the emails provided. Um, just fill in the waiting list if you feel like, or if you want more explanations, we'll be able to do so from our end. So thank you so much, and if you have any comments, if you have any questions, feel free to put them on the comment section and tell me what or which of the tours that you feel here from the homepage that you feel would best suit or you'd be very much interested in. Tell me on the comment section, and we'll be able to engage, and we should be able to provide this on a 360 perspective or a presentation for free. Thank you so much. In the next videos, I'll be explaining more about each and every tour and what we expect to see on each one of them. Bye bye.